What is happening, everyone? Welcome back to another Cop Out podcast. I'm Mick, joined by Jay, and I'm joined by Tim. I'm going to have a little chat about the breaking team news that just came out for tonight's tiny game at Anfield, where we need to win 2-0. But the team news is, as you can see at the bottom of your screen, it is Alisson in goal. You've got Trent right back, Phillips in Kabak, centre half, Robertson left back, midfield three of Fabinho, Milner, Wijnaldum, forward three of Mane, Salah, Firmino. Then you've got bench of Adrian, H. Davies, B. Davies, Thiago, Keita, Oxlade-Chamberlain, Hotter, Tsimikas, Shaq, Reece Williams, Kane and Clarkson. I'll come to you, Jay. What's your initial thoughts on that? Are you surprised that he's not gone 4-2-4 and just fucking through the kitchen sink at them straight away?
Yeah, I am. And I suppose that's because I've been watching what everyone wants today on Twitter, where it's like, I'll just put the front four up, and I've been like, do you know what? I'm fucking all for that. Unfortunately, we haven't got that, so I'm a little bit surprised. I'm more surprised about the Thiago thing, mate, because obviously we all know how well Thiago did for that brief spell last week against Madrid. And I've really thought he would have started this game. And that, yeah, it's a bit jaw-dropping, that, mate, because I think Thiago in this game would be crucial. So to not have him from the beginning, I feel a little bit ill. But that's no disrespect to Milner, because obviously Milner played well at the weekend and he was really, really good. So, but again, did you have Fabinho, Milner, and drop Wijnaldum for Thiago? It's a conundrum, but I'm very surprised Thiago doesn't start.
Yeah, and Tim, I think that's the same. Is it the same start 11 as last game? It's not, is it? I mean, the midfielders, isn't it? The midfield three. That's the one that started against Villa, and obviously Milner's got a load of grief, but he is a presence in there, isn't he? I know he's as old as Jay, so we know how old that is, and that's like that can't be understated. But he's still a machine, and he's still a voice in that midfield, and that's what we miss, isn't it? When we don't have Hendo in there, we need that voice in that midfield, and especially with no fans. I mean, I've seen a few videos already around Anfield, which look boss with the pyros and like giving the bus a greeting and whatever else. But we need on the pitch tonight, we need voices, don't we? And I think Wijnaldum as captain, as good as he is, I mean, speaking to Robbo yesterday, he's a nice guy and whatever, but he's not the captain who's going to grab the game by the scruff of the neck and go, right, fuck this, I'm going to pull us forward. He's the kind of guy who's off the bench, maybe scores a couple, but Milner in there's, for me, I expected today, so I'm glad that he's in there, because he's a I don't know if he's underrated. I don't know if that's the right word, but
I think it is.
I think it might be, because in that midfield position, we need that at the moment, don't we, Tim? With no Henderson in there.
Yeah, I'd say so. It's certainly interesting. You wouldn't have thought that after taking a gamble, throwing Keita into the starting lineup last week, that he would essentially do the same thing, but with Milner. Now Milner's obviously more explicable, considering the like you just touched on, the lack of leadership. But at the same time, I think that we all, thought that after the Thiago signing in summer, that this is the guy who's going to take us over the top in these big games, the guy that's going to make the pass, that's going to make the difference, and all that kind of stuff. So I think that despite it being warranted to put a leader back onto the pitch, I think it's a bit kind of head scratching that he's left the player with possibly the most big game experience and a guy who would be, well up for playing against Real Madrid. He came through the Barcelona academy, so it's not like he's not going to be, fired up to play against Real Madrid. It's the enemy to anyone who's ever played for Barcelona. So for me, it's I understand it, but dropping Thiago, like we said, is just it's a confusing one, isn't it?
Okay. All right, guys. And I know we wanted Thiago to start, but Jay, if Thiago was to start, who would you put him in for in that starting 11? Would it be Millie, or would it be, obviously Fabinho's undroppable in that CDM, so it's either Wijnaldum or Millie? Who would you, if you were the manager, obviously tonight, who would you have put in for Thiago?
I have to choose my words carefully here, don't I, usually? Probably Gini, mate. Probably Gini. And again, no disrespect to Gini, but again, it's just sort of trying something different. And I think what a lot of people have said today about Millie being the vocal point, you said it perfectly, Mick, about having that leader on the pitch, which we did lack against Madrid in the first leg. And we were saying, weren't we, parts of that game, that it would have been nice to see Milner, Thiago and Fabinho in there instead of Gini, because Gini didn't really put in performance that we know he's capable of against Madrid. But again, today's a different day, and you never know. We might get the better Gini Wijnaldum today. We might get the Barcelona Gini Wijnaldum. I'm surprised he's not benched Gini Wijnaldum in a game like this, because you know what happened last time. Then he got really, really pissed off that he wasn't playing, and he came on in the bag 2 goals. That might have been a good idea for Klopp, But I think I probably would have gone for Thiago, Millie, and Fabinho in this one. But like I said, I'm not the manager, and hopefully my opinion comes back to bite me in the ass by the end of the night.
Well, let's have a little quick look at Real Madrid's team, because I think it's the same apart from the right back who's obviously out for the season now. I think Vasquez.
Yeah.
So they've got Valverde in there instead. It's Courtois, and they've got Valverde, Militao, Nacho, Mendy, Modric, Casemiro, Cruz, Vinicius Jr., Benzema, and Asensio. So I think you speak to anyone, it's like we're capable of scoring as many as we want. It's keeping them out at the other end, isn't it, Tim? That's going to be the difference tonight, because they've got so much quality. And I mean, I'm hoping Bobby, as sharp as he was in the last game, maybe him dropping in a little bit on Cruz, or whoever's going to drop in that little hole where those passes over the top might be. Fucking hell, Carl. Didn't expect that early, but yeah, I'll take it. At least it's not later when I'm even more smashed. But get yourself down to Picardo on pins, boss. Are you happy that Bobby's obviously starting again, and maybe you can have bit more of an output in terms of defending from the front, like we're so used to him doing?
Yeah, I think there's a couple of reasons why I would have liked Bobby to start in the previous one as well. To be honest, I think that without him, the link-up play between the midfield and the strike force, I guess you could call them, is almost non-existent. He seems to have wanted Mane to take on that role recently, and that's not really worked out for him. So, I think for that reason alone, Firmino was warranted into the starting lineup. I think that his creative touch and all that kind of stuff is needed, especially when we're trying to create chances to try and bag as many goals as possible tonight. Let's be honest, like, this is a Madrid team that is in very, very fine form, and I think Klopp knows that it's going to be very difficult to keep them out of our net at the moment. So I think he's going out thinking, all right, we need to create as much as possible and give ourselves as much a chance as possible to win this game, and that the only way is to score goals and kind of put this tie to bed in terms of scoring 3 in the first half or something stupid like that. It is a good thing that his movement will have the midfield 3 working a little harder, and hopefully we'll see some of the closing down that we normally see from Firmino, so that the Toni Kroos passes don't happen because he doesn't have the time. Because let's face it, the more I watch those goals back, the more annoyed I am, because he literally has about 5, 6, 7 seconds on the ball with no one within 10 feet of him, and you're thinking, well, with a guy that quality, no matter how old he is, no matter how tired he is, he's going to put guys in through behind on the money 9 times out of 10. That guy is a world-class midfielder, and if you do the same to Modric, he will punish you in the same way. So I think Firmino's a key. I think he's going to be crucial tonight. So, yeah. I
think what Tim just said there, Mick, about the closing down of Cruz, I think that's probably another reason why Millie's in there. Yeah. Because Millie's like a little bulldog, isn't he? Just nibbling at your heels. He's really good at stuff like that, and he probably would have watched that last week and gone, "Do you know what? That's my fucking job tonight." Yeah, exactly. And who said it earlier? Chris Kelly did it. In fact, I don't really want to put Chris Kelly comments up because he does me head in. I'm only joking, Chris. Love you, really. Chris, he said Milner would clatter someone early, didn't he, and set the tone. I think Chris is absolutely spot on there. I think that's going to be so important that there's going to be no fans in this ground. Obviously, we all know that, and that's absolutely depressing. I think that's going to be an effect tonight, obviously. But that can be a tone where we go, do you know what? There might not be any fans here, but this is what this 11 is going to do to you, and Millie will set that tone.
Yeah, and I think sometimes we want, the same with the transfers, we want a shiny new toy, but going back to the forward 3, they know exactly where to be at each time, like defending from the left, defending from the right, defending from the centre. They know where to be. And Bobby, I think we've seen in that game with Bobby was missing that. It wasn't quite the same in terms of the closing down, and the pressing was just slightly off. And I think I'm hoping tonight that'll be obviously amped up completely Chris Kelly has left the chat. Fucking hell, he's just a wizard, isn't he, Chris Kelly? We're open tonight. Like, I mean, want to get your plug ready, Tim. I'm plugging yesterday's pod with Robbo. He predicted this. He said Hotter on the bench, and it's happened. It's happened. So to be fair, Hotter, Thiago, Keita, Ox, Shaq as options coming off the bench, then you can't really complain. I mean, the midfield is good. Obviously, Millie's getting on in age, but like you said, Jay, he's there to nibble at people. He's not going to go. He's not going to let anyone like take the piss, like in terms of half closing down. He's going to make sure everyone's closing everything down. And I think that's key tonight, especially with no fans in the stadium. So I think that's I'm really looking forward to this. I have all day, to be honest. But we've got an hour to kick off, boys. So we're getting on to 11 minutes here.
I've not been able to sit still all fucking day, mate. I mean, this is why we're in this fucking competition, is for nights like this. And everyone's looked at this the history of our European comebacks. Today's the anniversary of the Dortmund game. I don't know whether that's a sign. These are the games you want to be involved in. And at the end of the day, if we could be sat here later on tonight, mate, and we'll be thinking about the fact that we've just beaten Real Madrid and we're through to the semis, then my God, it's going to oh my God, I can't just wait to see everybody's reaction on the internet and stuff. That's going to be fantastic. And this is what we've got to. I'd rather be involved in these games than have the negative feeling of, fuck me, it's 3-1. But we've got that crucial away goal. We start this fucking game quick, like we did against Barcelona. Let's fucking take the spirit of the ground into it. And I swear to God, boys, if the Liverpool we know turns up, the Liverpool we know and love will win this fucking tie. Let's have it.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing, isn't it? Because we've got 90 minutes. If we even if we get one in the first half, then we only need one in the second half. And I mean, we're still going to be shitting our pants every time they go forward, thinking, oh, they're going to score off a corner, or they're going to score from a whatever set piece, or just a boss through ball from any one of the boss three midfielders they've got in that centre of the park, who can just split a defence open in the blink of an eye. But boys, let's go to score predictions before we get out of here and go and get ourselves a little.
Cole's fucking spot on there. He is. Every time I go to the match with Cole, that's exactly what I'm like. This must be the young blood in me, but Cole's used to it more than I am. But yeah, Cole's absolutely spot on. Cole knows that better than anybody. Go on, mate. Score predictions. Go on. You go first, then.
Okay, Cole. Give us your score prediction. Give us that old blood score prediction. We want that in the chat. We'll come to Tim first. Tim, what do you think the score is going to be tonight?
It's genuinely a tough one to call, because it's part of me wants to say, oh, we're going to win 2-0, and that's probably what I'm going to go with. But there's so many other scores, flying through my head, and I'm just like, can't really stick to one. 2-0 is the one that stands out in my head, so I'm just going to run with that.
Yeah, Jay.
I think we might win it in extra time. So I'm no good at the maths. I don't even want to fucking think about what aggregate score it could be. Just forget it. I'll just say prediction is that we win it in extra time.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go, because I've been right a couple of times when I've said 2-0, and I mean I've not. It's not the result's not been reliant on a 2-0 win, but tonight it is. So fuck it. I'm gonna go 2-0. I don't know, Chris. I don't think I can take 3-1, to be honest. I mean, I don't know if my heart can take it with just like subs coming on and people getting tired, and I'm like, oh my God, we're definitely going to lose. That's my mentality, because I'm just like being a bit pessimistic this year. But we'll leave it there, fellas. Thanks for jumping on. We'll be back after.
Thanks for everybody for joining.
Yeah, thanks to everyone. We've had Carl, we've had Dan, we've had Chris, we've had Ultra FC Frankel. Genie leaves, Trent goes to midfield and gets solid RB.
That's for another day. But thanks for the comment, mate. We appreciate that.
That's a 3-day pod. That fucking hell. We've had, we've had Yuki. We have had Paul. We have had Paul Bro 1295571. Fucking hell.
Gotta get a better thing than that, mate. Let's get that changed.
There's no names left for him, was there? Fucking hell.
There's a lot of Paul Bros out there.
That was bottom of the barrel. They're just like, yeah, fuck it. Don't give a shit. Just set up this account. Let's go. So nice one for everyone jumping in. We'll be back after the game. Well, it might be 10 o'clock. If we win it in normal time, it's 10 o'clock. If not, we'll see it's about 11 o'clock, and we're all no nails left, fucking absolutely smashed off our faces. And then if it's a win, we'll be happy, and if not, we won't be. But we'll see you all in a bit.